If you want to support me even further, use code Rest Assured in the Epic Game Store and follow me on all my socials. Thank you. Alright, what's going on guys? It's Rest, and in this video, I've got a bunch of Wonderlands information for you guys that I think you all are going to enjoy. If you're like me, you are super excited for the launch of this game, and you want to know every single bit of detail you can, and I hope this video can help you get hyped and get prepared for what's coming on March 25th. So I'm going to be going over a GameSpot article that I will link in the description as well if you guys want to go read it yourself, but I'm going to be reading this, talk about my opinions, and give you guys all the info that you need to know. So starting off, we all know what Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is. It's the next game in the Borderlands series that's going to be taking place in Tiny Tina's Bunkers and Badasses game. If you played the DLC from Borderlands 2, this is pretty much just a full game based around that DLC, and it is looking to be very, very fun. But a lot of people have questions like character customization and sort of things like that due to the fact there are not Vault Hunters in the game. So starting off this article, the character creator in Wonderlands represents one of the biggest departures from the structure of the Borderlands games. Wonderlands doesn't feature established characters. Instead, you customize your own hero, including their race, physical appearance, voice, and personality. Your voice, your appearance, all of that is independent. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands senior producer Kayla Belmore told GameStop, you get to choose your own voice and some other fun stuff that we can't quite dive into yet, but it goes into even your character's personality, not just aesthetics, and it's all independent. You could look and sound however you want in those set of choices. We don't really tie the player into any one thing. Not even every feature is humanoid. You can have shark fins on your head or look like an orc. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands creative director Matt Cox added that the character creator is completely separate from your abilities and skills. That means there are no character specific items in Wonderlands either. We want you to be able to express your visuals and your playstyle the way you want, Cox said. So guys, this is really cool because this is saying that no matter what type of character you play, you're going to be able to use everything, which is really, really nice. You're not going to have a orc just be a brutal warrior. You could have a mage orc because this is all just appearance based. And obviously they have more stuff they said that they can't dive into yet, but I'd imagine this is just going to have choices based on in the game, like maybe story element wise, depending on what character you choose. And this is really, really cool. So they're really going heavy into customization on creating your character. Obviously you can even have your own specific voice, which is really cool, and I can't wait to see the crazy combinations that people come up with. But now going on to the next part, the philosophy extends into skill trees. Wonderlands will have 6 distinct classes to choose from, each with their own unique skill tree. Developer Gearbox Software will share more specific details about each one at a later date. So there are going to be 6 classes with their own unique skill trees. So in a sense, that's like 6 different Vault Hunters, but obviously you're going to probably be able to choose things like Warrior, Rogue, stuff like that, and then they have their own skill trees, which is really, really cool. There's 2 different aspects of our character creation, Belmore said. One is the aesthetic piece where you choose what you look like, and then there's the character classes. Each character class will have abilities that our fans are accustomed to seeing, and deeper into the game, you'll be able to have the option to multi-class. The ability to multi-class will supposedly allow for players to put together some bizarre but powerful combinations. When I asked how that would work using the hypothetical of a player combining Borderlands 2 Gunzerker and Borderlands 3 Siren as a possible example, Belmore confirmed I was on the right track. She did not yet want to confirm that either class or anything like them would be in Wonderlands, but in terms of what players will be able to expect, that's the idea. You have the option of taking 2 completely different skill sets and putting them together, which is a very tabletop RPG concept. You'll choose your primary class, and later in the main story, you'll be able to slot a secondary class and mix and match those 2 classes and skill trees. That's your character for the campaign, Cox said. But once you beat the plot, you'll be able to go back and respec your secondary class, so you'll have to stick with your primary class, but you can try a different secondary. So with all that, obviously there's going to be an insane amount of character customization in the game. They said obviously you can take things like Borderlands 2 Gunzerker and Siren and mix them together, things like that. You're going to be able to do some really cool things, and it seems to be that when you pick your primary class, you're stuck with that forever, but you can always try to respec your secondary class and try out different things as well, which is really, really cool. The amount of build potential I think is actually going to be in this game is crazy. We already have a decent amount in Borderlands 3, but I think this is going to take it to the literal next level, and you're going to be able to just put some crazy combinations together, and there's just going to be so many builds in the game. Now, reading on from there, your ability to shape your character doesn't end there. There's more to do beyond skills you unlock via your primary and secondary classes. You'll also have hero points to spend as well, in very classic Dungeons & Dragons attributes, Cox said, and those all speak to different things like a melee attribute or spell attribute or a skill cooldown attribute. It's like a character sheet. So maybe this kind of sounds like Guardian rank in a way, but it might be a little different. According to Cox, you'll be able to put hero points into your strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, constitution, and attunement. These hero points are separate from skill points that you'll also earn throughout the game. Skill points apply to the more traditional skill trees where you can unlock new abilities and perks. Hero points build your character so they can more easily specialize a specific class. So yeah, it really does kind of sound like Guardian rank. You do have a sort of unique attribute that lives is outside of the list of hero stats, and that's luck, Belmore added. And that is something you can affect by completing an in-game challenge. And the luckier you are, the more of this challenge you do, the better your loot chances are at a higher rarity. But before you reach the in-game, you'll have to overcome the main campaign of Wonderlands, and this means dealing with Tiny Tina. Wonderlands takes place immediately after Dragon Keep, so Tina is back to her rambunctious 13-year-old self as opposed to the older, slightly more adjusted 20-year-old Tiny Tina seen in Borderlands 3. As the bunker master, Tina is in control of the campaign, and so much like Dragon Keep, she'll step in to set the scene, crack jokes, or roleplay akin to D&D Dungeon Master. So like this is saying, this is going to be just basically a full-on game that's based in the Dragon Keep DLC. It takes place right after it, and literally Dragon Keep was one of everyone's favorite DLCs, so everybody is super excited about this. That's one of the great things about Tina, the chaotic energy, Belmore said. It lends itself so well to the idea of tabletop RPG, where you have the unhinged bunker master, and she absolutely will shape the world in the way she sees fit, which has huge effects on everything. The story itself is not reactive. It's like Tina's assault on Dragon Keep, where it's just Tina playing out the plotline. Some of the plotline will now take on a third-person perspective, another departure from the Borderlands formula, which always plays out in both gameplay and cutscenes. In first person, when traveling from place to place, Wonderlands will pan out to a tabletop view where you'll see yourself and your allies, if playing co-op, as miniatures. We call it overworld, Belmore said, so one of the ways you can explore the greater world is through this pulled back third-person view. We have a fairly linear main plot with tons of side missions. In addition, with some exploration, you can find these 5 optimal maps. So if you're a tabletop RPG nerd, act like modules. So they're connected to the main story, but they also are their own standalone plots. You can have dynamic encounters, Cox said, so you'll have a little enemy pop up and then you'll get transported seamlessly into first-person combat, where you do a small fight, get your loot, and pop back in to further explore the entire overworld. So overworld really acts like, compared to previous games we've done, the big zone that connects all of the experiences. And the customization you choose actually shows up in your bobblehead character as well, Belmore excitedly said. So this, like I said in the breakdown video, this is just going to be an area that kind of connects everything. There are going to be loot and enemies you can fight in this area as well, which is really cool, because if you're in third person, you swap to first person, I imagine that's actually going to be a really cool thing you can do. And maybe there's like a secret where you can just go in here in first person and just kind of explore the area, because it looks really cool itself. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do with this. It's a different take on how you actually play a Borderlands game. In spite of these departures from the formula that Gearbox has established with the Borderlands franchise, both Cox and Belmore said that fundamentally Wonderlands plays like a Borderlands game. This is still a looter shooter, though Gearbox has taken steps to improve upon the Borderlands formula, so that's really good. We wanted to make sure we embrace the strength of what we do best, and the looter shooter loop is going to feel very familiar to our fans of our games, Cox said. But instead of being preoccupied with how many guns are in the game, our focus is more on the diversity of types of fantasy weapons that you can have. So it's really more about the breadth of the fantasy gear rather than ensuring a high tick mark on how many guns we have. So guys, clearly it's still going to be a Borderlands style game, just a little different. They're changing the formula up, and hopefully it's for the better. He continued, we still have our procedurally generated loot, so we'll definitely see different parts of melee weapons and different abilities for spell books, but it's more the new types of gear that you can combine into a meaningful experience so you can play how you want to play. And even some things about the guns have changed, Belmore added. You'll see different fire mechanics that you have in previous titles, and the addition of crossbows and magic barrels, which are definitely a little different from what we've done before. And I'm happy about this. Keep adding. Bring back some old mechanics, add more, just have so much variety in the game, because it's what makes Borderlands games and Wonderlands very fun. Movement during combat has also evolved to better incorporate Wonderlands spellcasting and melee attacking into Borderlands existing shooting mechanics. The faster movement of Borderlands 3 returns, as does the game's slide, ground pound, and clamber mechanics. Wonderland goes a step further, adding a new melee focused movement mechanic. This is really good, because obviously if you're a W key warrior like myself, you're probably going to really be focused on melee focus in the first place. So being able to have this super smooth Borderlands 3 movement style is going to be really good and really fun for this game. Going more on that melee mechanic, if you're just out of melee range when you melee attack, you will glide into your enemy, Cox said. It's like an auto glide, so you can sprint and slide like in Borderlands 3, and then if you melee at the end of your slide within the right distance of enemy, you can continue gliding straight to the enemy and close the distance in a really fun way. I'm pretty sure that we saw this in the trailer. It is as satisfying as it looks, Belmore added. So that's pretty much it for all the information that we know that they talked about. Clearly, there's going to be a huge amount of character customization in the game. You can create your own look, you have your own voice, everything like that. You choose your character class, which is obviously going to have its own set of skill trees, and you can also choose a secondary class, which I assume is going to also add your skill trees to what your main character skill trees already are. There are a whole slew of different weapons in the game now. The system with different parts and everything is also going to come to every other thing in the game. They're bringing back some of the old shooting mechanics. They're adding new things, mage barrel rails, crossbows, a bunch of stuff like that. Obviously, action skill-esque things are also going to be in the game. There's a third-person overworld now where, you know, you walk around and explore place to place. And the Borderlands 3 movement is coming back to the game, and they're even upgrading it to have like dash mechanics to make melee even better. And overall, this is just really, really good. They're taking what Borderlands 3 did extremely well with things like movement, loot, and everything, and turning it up to 11 with this game, it seems like, and even adding more character customization, which is really, really good. And like I said, you're going to expect to see a ton of builds come out for this. And if you guys would like to see those, again, be sure to stick around and consider subscribing, because I will be posting as much as I can on this game because I am super, super excited for it. But that is going to do all for this information drop. If you learned anything new or just enjoy it, remember to drop a like. It really helps me out, and it is truly appreciated. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.